I'm Shelly.
And we did history over alcohol for our health project. And first signs of alcohol date back to 8000 BC in Persia in the Middle East, as a fermented drink is produced from honey and wild yeast. In 4000 BC, winemaking was established in the Mesopotamia, which is present-day Iraq. In 3000 BC, both beer and wine are produced in ancient Egypt. Wine production and trade become an important part of the Mediterranean commerce. In 800 BC, barley and rice beer are produced in India. In 1516 AD, Germany passes a beer purity law, making it illegal to make beer with anything but barley, hops, and pure water. 1789, the first American Temperance Society is formed in Litchfield, Connecticut, with the goal of reducing alcohol consumption. Similar societies soon follow in other states. 1791, the Act of 1791, also called the Whiskey Tax, enacts a tax on both publicly and privately distilled whiskey in the United States. In 1802, the whiskey tax was repealed. In the 1850s is when beer was first sold in bottles. In 1910, New York introduces the first drunk driving laws. 1920, the passage of the 18th Amendment Prohibition and the Volstead Act effectively outlaw the production, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages in the United States. Alcohol was also illegal in Finland from 1919 to 1932, and various Canadian provinces at various times between 1900 and 1948. In 1920 through 1933, the illicit alcohol trade booms in the United States. 1935, bill first sells in cans. Alcoholics Anonymous is first established. The American Medical Association passes a resolution declaring that alcoholics are valid patients. In 1944, the U.S. Public Health Service labels alcoholism the fourth largest health problem. Between 1970 and 1975, the minimum drinking age is lowered in 29 from 21 to 18, 19, or 20, following the enactment of the 26th Amendment to the Constitution, which lowers the legal voting age to 18.
Egyptian writings more than 4,000 years old included a father's warning to his student son about the danger of drinking too much beer. In China, the Emperor Yu is created with learning how to make rice wine, but eventually he tried to outlaw it using fear that wine effects on the population would lead to the fall of his kingdom. Many colonists used hard cider, beer, rum, and other alcoholic drinks as painkillers and as treatments for fevers, indigestion, and heart problems. For centuries, brandy and other liquors, now cordials, are made almost executively for treating illness. Ancient Egyptians sometimes received beer for wages for their work. The first mention of alcohol in the Hebrew Bible occurs in the book of Genesis. It written that Noah drank too much wine made from the vineyards as he planted after food. Around 800 AD, the Arabian invented distillation, made it possible to beverages with a highly concentrated form of alcohol. Dionysus was the Greek god of wine. Bacchus was the Roman god of wine. The Christian Bible talks about Jesus turning water into wine at a wedding in Cana, but there is also biblical warnings against drunkenness, which was frowned upon. During the colonial times, American alcohol consumption was quite common when men and women. It was a custom to pause for a drink several times a day. Colonists did not want American Indians to get drunk or disorderly. They feared that such behavior might lead to rebellion. In 1933, prohibition was overturned by the 18th Amendment. However, many states chose to remain dry, and it would be 30 years until all states allowed alcohol sales again. Between 1921 and 1923, about 7,000 persons were arrested for breaking prohibition laws in New York. However, only 27 of them were convicted. It was and is used as a painkiller. Even some of those films were as amputated carry out, and the only anesthesia was the swig of whiskey from a swig of whiskey bottle. The ancient Chinese used to reduce fatigue with alcohol. Until the mid-1600s, winemakers in France used oil-soaked rags in lieu of corks. Vikings enjoyed alcohol, but they did not drink from mug, a bottle, or any other traditional method. Instead, they preferred to toast to their victories by imbibing their favorite alcohol beverages from the skulls of their defeated enemies. Many historians believe that the practice of farming was not started as means of food production. Instead, early farmers were most likely engaging in their trade in order to produce the necessary ingredients to create alcoholic beverages. In India, alcoholic beverages appeared during the Indus Valley Civilization in Hindu Ayurvedic texts, which is also beneficial and detrimental effects of alcohol has been outlined. Distilled spirits originated in India and China around 800 BC, and the distillation process emerged in Europe around the 11th century. The Greek worshipped the god Bacchus, the god of wine, and Romans worshipped the same god under the different name of Bacchus. Around 55 BC, the Romans introduced spirit to Europeans. Wine became part of rituals with the rise of Christianity and stimulated spread of viticulture and Christianity in